questions?
I think I'm on like a new live. Can you type in there that I think we're on a new live?
Yeah.
Shoot.
All good.
There's 5 people. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little delay there. I'm gonna kind of let it roll for a couple seconds and see if some people will shift back over here.
Little intermission.
Yeah, little halftime. So hopefully people see that there's a new live thing and we're rocking on this one. Where did we leave off there? Open, close face?
Open, close face, yeah.
Yeah. We're back. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why my phone just like froze up there. Was there any question like right underneath that?
Yeah. Would you say the purpose or goal of shallowing is to return the shaft somewhere between a hands and elbow plane?
So the question was, would you say the goal is to return the shaft somewhere between hands and elbow plane? So hands and elbow plane is at setup, okay? The hand plane, if you were to draw a line up from the ground through the hands, or if you were to draw a line up through from the ball through the hands and from the ball through the elbow, I would say yes. The end goal is by the time you come back down to last parallel, the club head is on or just inside of your hands, kind of right between that elbow hand plane. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful reference.
Somebody said you said the word slow again. That's awesome.
Yeah. Slow.
So I lost the other questions from the other one, but that's
okay.
Yeah, I think said the word slow again.
So I think
something you bring up, and you brought up in the YouTube video today, and I think it's what we're talking about, is you said so you get back up to full speed and you're steep again. What do you do?
Yeah. So first things first, the questions from the other one that we got cut off there are gone. So if you guys have new questions, repost them here, and then we can start rolling through them. So if you posted something and I didn't answer it, my fault. Post it on here, and then we'll go through them. What Mary brought up is a good point of when I say go slow. One, what are you guys in a rush for in the first place? 2, when you're doing these slow ones, okay, and I'm up here and I'm going down, and then I'm adding a little speed at the bottom and I'm hitting, I want you to gradually add a little distance, gradually add a little speed. So if I start at 40 yards, I might then hit the next, hit 3 at 40 yards until I have that mastered. And then I might go to 60 yards. And then when I have 60 yards mastered, I'm going to go to like 70, 80, 90. As soon as I watch myself with my live view golf, I get steep again, guess what I'm doing? I'm going back. Okay? So it's like when you're trying to get good at anything, go slow, start at step 1, master that. Step 2, step 3, step 4. As soon as you go steep and then slow it down and go back shorter.
What would be the ideal plane line to draw, and where should the club trace and lead that line? So
I would, what's the ideal line to draw for like the plane of the club? To me, the shaft line out of dress works well. So if you take your normal setup, can you see me okay with the club there on the screen? If you draw a line from the golf ball through the shaft, if you draw a line through the golf ball, from the golf ball through the shaft, up your body, through the shaft is the answer. If you draw a line through the shaft, up your body, you want that club head to kind of ride that going back, get parallel to that at the top, get parallel coming down, and then ride it back down through impact. And the follow through.
And it's downswing related. I don't know if it's shallow related, but how do you fix the rear shoulder stall in the downswing?
How do you fix a rear? I have a really hard time with rear shoulder stall during the downswing.
Slow.
Feel like your rear shoulder doesn't stall and gets pointed to the target sooner from the top of the backswing. Watch the video. Right side feels for more rotation.
Yeah. Are there any of the other shallow things? Because we did include some of the YouTube stuff in with the masterclass. There's stuff we haven't done on YouTube in the masterclass, so I think we should talk a little bit about that.
So Mary said there's stuff in the masterclass that we talked about that isn't on YouTube. So first things first, this masterclass deal, right? So I'm going to show you this if I can pull it up, and you tell me, Mary, if you can see this okay. The masterclass we did, okay, so I'm going to pull here. Can you see that okay?
There we go, yep.
Okay, so here is this masterclass that you're gonna see that comes on here. Now, if I scroll down, and you're gonna see these in a minute, why is it not real time? Just, okay. So video, there's 12 videos on here, okay? And then there's each one here. What it means, prerequisites, setting up the shallow, backswing pieces, downswing explanations, optional feels, how to get started, practice station 1, 2, 3, bonus drill of the summer. So it's 12 videos. All of the videos minus the one have not been, and part of the one have not been on YouTube before. So when you watch these, and you'll see what these look like, and you check that out, it's cogornogolf.podia.com. None of them are videos that we've talked about before. Now, some of the stuff certainly is like some of the drills and stuff are the same, but it's step by step. It walks through the whole thing. It guides you through the entire process. My thoughts on how to start at the different practice stations, like everything I have in my mind in that one package. So the stuff on there that's obviously not on the YouTube. Yeah.
Can you overdo the shallowing? And if so, what error occurs?
Can you overdo the shallowing? Yes. And if so, what error occurs? Fats, fins, pushes, hooks. In terms of the ball flight pattern, if you're too shallow, you'll hit pushes to the right and over hooks to the left, and you'll have some low point issues, fat or thin. Sometimes then also your dynamic loft will go up a little, so compression won't feel as good. But literally, like being too shallow is an elite player problem. If you're too shallow, then I wouldn't watch this. I wouldn't get the downswing product. I wouldn't watch the rest of this other than you just want to hang out with us. And I would watch the other stuff about how to fix your hook, do the bucket drills, do the stick drills and stuff like that. You can get too shallow. If you're too shallow, you're easily breaking, you should be easily breaking 80 and probably shooting under par.
When I use shaft plane, I tend to hit hooks or pushes. When I use elbow plane, that goes away. I'm only 5'5". Could that be why?
Yeah, that's cool. Use elbow plane.
People don't know what you have to say.
Yeah, so the question was when I use the shaft plane with the club, I hit push and hooks. When I use the elbow plane, that goes away. Use elbow plane.
Is shallowing the club linked to the move with the front hip?
Is shallowing the club linked to a move with the front hip? No. Well, when I say no, I mean what you don't want to do is bump your left hip forward to have the club go down and add all this access tilt, because you're going to not be able to rotate. You're going to have low point problems. You're going to definitely hit pushes and hooks and have compression issues. You don't want to do anything with your left hip to be creating the shallow downswing. You want to rotate well, and you want to learn how to shallow your arms and hands. And listen, guys, check me on this. Like, go on YouTube, pull up your favorite swing, stop them at the top, stop them at left arm parallel, and draw a line on the shaft and see what happens and how they do it. See if the back of their hand and forearm are pointed more up than it was going back. See how the plane of the club shifted. See where their body's at in space, right? Like, take what I'm saying for guidance, but go watch for yourself and see what they do too.
So you could argue you can only be too shallow if your rotation is too slow, or otherwise you can't be too shallow.
Yeah, so the question, what someone said was, you can argue that you can't be too shallow, and that if you are too shallow, really just your rotation is too slow or you haven't rotated enough. And some guys I know and some guys I coach would say that. They say, listen, get the club as far humanly behind you as humanly possible. Like, you can't overdo that, and then just learn to turn. That's cool. Some guys might not be able to turn all that as much as we want to. So there's going to be a middle ground. I'm by no means saying get the club behind you as far as possible is good for every single human being. I don't think some people can turn that much. I myself have been too far behind me, or I haven't turned as well. And I played really good golf getting the club more back in front because I had the club really far behind. But some people would say that, turn as much as you can, get the club as far behind you as possible. What shallow swing product for sale? Cogornogolf.podia.
I put the link. It's in
the link is in the description.
Yeah.
Cogornogolf.podia.com/shallow your masterclass, I think it is.
Yeah. Can you shallow by flexing knees and rotating?
Can you shallow by flexing knees and rotating? Yes. Okay. So if I go to the top and I were to, like as George Gankus talks a lot about, right? GG swing tips about leaving the arms up and rotating. If I were up here and I didn't pull the club down and I left it up here like this, and I reflexed my legs and opened up and did nothing with my arms and hands, the club would lay down, right? That's normal. But if you can't do that, which I've experienced, some people can't do that, then you need to shallow the club with your arms and hands. Not make your stance wider, not bump your left hip, not rotate your chest, not rotate your shoulders, not 10,000 other things. You need to take the club with your hands and your arms and make a downswing that's very slow and feel what it feels like to lay the club down. That's how you need to do it. Next question.
That's beautiful. That's, well, somebody did ask, this isn't channel related, would you use the Martin Chuck Tour Striker ball and the wrist training aid at the same time?
Would I use the Martin Chuck Tour Striker ball and wrist training aid at the same time? You can do that. Yeah, that might be a lot for you to feel in the beginning. If you're getting too steep or you have problems because your elbows are too, like your elbows could get too far apart and your right shoulder's too internal at the top and then it just stays internal, that Tour Striker ball would put you closer here and keep your elbows closer. It can kind of more or less force the right arm and shoulder to be neutral to externally rotated. So that would be super cool. If you get too cupped like this and the shaft gets too steep, you can put the wrist educator on there and flex the lead wrist. You guys know my thoughts on that, right? Elbows closer together, most efficient way to do a backswing video. I like the elbows close together. This is cool, and for speed purposes, I like that, but then you got to get it back in front. If you're here and it stays this way, you're in trouble. If you're here and you externally rotate it, then you're good. If you can't do that, or you've had a hard time doing that, put a ball in, get it here, and then just keep it there. That's fine. And your wrist structure, if you're here like this, and I flex and maintain my wrist angles or widen a little, I'm good. If I cup and increase my hinge, then I'm not good.
If the plane is reasonably good, how much do we need to shallow? Is just a little good enough? That's a great question.
If the plane is reasonably good, how much do we need to shallow? Is a little bit enough. A little bit is enough. If your plane's good, I wouldn't worry about throwing it that far behind you. I'd make sure my wrist conditions are good, make sure my rotation is good, make sure my pressure shift is good, and then get the ball in the hole.
Somebody said, how can you work on hitting the ball with your practice swing?
How can you work on hitting the ball with your practice swing? I'm not sure what that means. Ask that a different way, whoever asked that.
Yeah. So.
Is that it, question-wise?
Yeah.
Okay, so what time is it now?
It is 10:01.
So we have like 10 more minutes here. If you guys have more questions, you can roll them in here and ask away. Yes. Oh, I thought Mary had a question. You guys can ask away. We're gonna wrap at 1 o'clock because we have to do a call after this. But that's the deal with it. Okay, the product goes through it all. To me, you got to make sure your backswing pieces you have are neutralish. If you make a backswing that rolls too far inside and you're steep, you need to fix the takeaway. I misspoke there. If you do a takeaway that's too far inside and that leaves a steep, fix the takeaway. If your takeaway is fine, but you get too flat and that goes steep, fix that. Make it more vertical. How do you do it? Put a camera behind you, put a stick in, get the club more vertical, exaggerate, and go slow enough until you do it. If you have wrist conditions that are too cupped, fix it. Fix it how? With a hanger, with a Tour Striker. If you get your right elbow out and it stays out, fix it. Fix it how? Elbows closer together, keep them closer together, Tour Striker ball. But no matter what, I would still get the club up. And one more time, I would learn how to do it with my arms and hands without my body turning. So when I'm doing it, my left shoulder stays lower than my right, and I'm learning to lay the club down. My left shoulder stays lower than my right, and I'm learning to lay the club down. Am I going to actually do that with a real swing and not turn? Absolutely not. This is just a drill. My left shoulder stays lower, no turn, arms come down. Left shoulder stays lower, no turn, arms come down. Is that right or wrong? Don't know, don't care. Done it in person. It works really well. So I would do that.
Somebody asked a question about the live golf. Does it have functions to draw lines for planes? Yes, it does.
Does the live view golf have functions to draw lines for planes? Yes, it does.
Waiting for this question all day. Your video on shelling contradicts Mike Malaska.
So someone asked, your video on shallow contradicts Mike Malaska.
Will not the club get stuck behind you and then you have to flip to catch the club face up?
Will not the club get stuck behind you and then you have to flip to catch up? Yeah. So a lot of guys are asking about Mike Malaska. I'm probably going to call him or reach out to him and tell him who I am probably in the first place because I don't think he knows who I am. And talk to him. And maybe we'll do a little thing together so we can talk about his thoughts on what's going on, my thoughts, whatever. Here's what I'll say, right? So I see a lot of people. I went back. Okay, I've seen Mike's stuff. I watched him, all the videos again so I can answer your questions properly. And I see him talking about getting the club kind of more this way when you start down. Now, I don't know what he does live in person. I've never seen him give a lesson. I'm assuming him and I are trying to get the same end result. Now, make no mistake about it. Okay, make no mistake about it. If I have the club at a certain angle at the top, okay, unless it's here at the top, if I go up and I'm like here, then I'm going to have to. I am absolutely under no circumstances taking my shaft at the top and making it more vertical. I don't care who says that, like Malaska, PGA, President Trump, Congress, whatever. This going this way, good players don't do that. Not in my opinion. Watch them. Now, what I think is he wants people to feel that, and I think he still wants them to swing like on like one plane, right? I think he's talking about feeling this type of thing to have the club neutral, and that's fine. Now, the 1% of people who have the club too far behind them, can they feel like the club goes more this way? Absolutely. That is 1%. If you're someone who gets too shallow and doesn't rotate enough and you want to feel the club more in front of you, love that concept. 99% of people, I don't do that. I'm assuming he just does it a different way. I can't really say anything else until I watch him teach. Seems like a good dude. I think we're probably on the same page. If we want you all to get better, as long as that happens, we're good. But you will not see a video coming out with me where I'm talking about doing that. So I'll leave it at that.
So I said Jim Kirk's swing is a great example of laying the club down. Yes.
Jim Furyk's swing is a good example of laying the club down. Yes, exaggerated. Ryan Moore, exaggerated. Bubba Watson, exaggerated. Brooks Koepka, exaggerated. Just watch these guys, man. The club goes from the angle at the top, and it freaking lays down. All of them. Some a lot, some a little. It is what it is.
And you said this in Wednesday's video and saying, yeah, like watch the swings, stop it on parallel, one up.
Yeah. So I said the video before, right? Watch your guys that you like, stop them at left arm parallel going back, and stop them again at left arm parallel going down and see what changed. And then you answer your own questions about it.
Good questions. We said, tell us a little bit about coming to you for a lesson if we're from out of town.
So it's about coming for a lesson if you're out of town. Yeah, I'm still kind of coordinating that all right now. If you go to ecgolfcoaching.com, Mary will put the link in there. You can see the schedule and stuff like that. People coming from out of town is still a new thing for me with all the YouTube. So I'm sure I'll do more like full day, multi-day golf school stuff like that. But right now it's just kind of like 1 hour. I think I do 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, like half day, full day. So ecgolfcoaching.com, you can see the stuff. Now you can do online lessons too, where I'll do the online swing analysis. So that's the deal with that. The other thing I want to mention is cogornogolf.com. So we have a membership site up that you guys all know. In the YouTube videos, there's a link in there where you can see stuff for free. You don't have to pay anything else. You go on, we do the YouTube extended, but also we revamped the site. The guys at Dormead that Mary and I have been working with, here is the Cogorno Golf. Mary, tell me if that's...
redesigned.
Yeah, we just redesigned the site, so I want to give you like a little sneak peek about this.
Shout out to the guys for all the work on the design.
So I'm going to get this up here, and then you can see it. So the site looks like this. Mary, can you see that okay?
I can see it, yeah.
So you can see kind of how the designs are. They're set up 16 lessons, backswing 30 lessons, downswing 50 lessons, ball striking, wedge play, chipping, putting, student lessons, practice, course management, effortless power, transition, most common backswing flaws, takeaway. I mean, there's shallow, compressing the ball. There's so much stuff on here. And there's a variation of paid memberships from 1939 and 89, mostly 19 and 39. And then there's also free membership options where you can go on there and you just link in your email and you can see some of the courses we have here for free. And we'll also send out some YouTube extended. So I'm sure we'll do some different stuff with that moving forward. But if you guys want to check that out, if you want more stuff, you can do that too.
I got a question from Paul Viola.
Yeah.
He said, do you like setting the angle of the wrist first or having more forearm rotation and impact?
Question from Paul Viola, who you guys might not know Paul Viola. Paul Viola works with me. He's who I took lessons from my whole life. And he asked, what? Do I like setting the wrist early?
Setting the angle of the wrist first or having more forearm rotation and impact?
Question is, do I like setting the angle of the wrist first or more forearm rotation and impact? I like more forearm rotation and impact. I like the wrists. I don't like a ton of hinge during the backswing. I like neutral, 90 degrees or less, because it pairs up with the left wrist being flat. I like the club being left wrist flat, and then club face slightly tilted down there. I like it neutral at the top and flat. I like it to lay down a smidge. I like a lot of body rotation. And then I like at the bottom, the left wrist to be flat or bowed. And I don't mind and like for a lot of people from about here through to add more form rotation. I think 80+% of players I see don't have enough form rotation. I know because I've looked at measurements, good players have more form rotation during the downswing than poorer players. I'll say that again. Good players have more forearm rotation than less good players. And I bet a lot of you guys think opposite, and that is not true. Even Dustin Johnson, who's here like this and still has a decent amount of forearm rotation on the way down. Good question, Paul.
Do you shallow with the arms, wrists, or both?
Do you shallow with the arms, wrists, or both? Whatever you need to. Arms, wrists. Yeah, you can do either. So your arms, in reality, again, the butt of the club is going to go on about a 40 to 45 on the way down. If you're too far this way, then you're okay to feel it coming down this way. But more importantly, I like a little bit of this. You can do it through wrist conditions, okay? You can feel like the arms come down like this, the club's behind you, a little bit of pronation of your left arm. All that's perfectly fine. There's not, hey, listen, I'm not going to say like, you must shallow your downswing with wrist conditions, period. That's not true. You can do it with wrist conditions, you can do it with forearm rotation, you can do it with the arms coming down, you can do it with rotation. There's different ways to do it. What time do we have here?
About 3 minutes out.
Okay, so there's 3 minutes. We're going to wrap this up. Sorry about that little halfway stuff. We're still kind of figuring out the technology here. As we go over time and do these live Q&As, I want you guys to do a couple of things for me. Comment on this. 1, did you like it, or what should we do different? 2, do you want to do more of these, and at what frequency? Like, at what point do we do these on topics where it's like, hey, dude, I got enough of you. I don't want to see you anymore. Or like, hey, maybe it'd be really cool if we did this once a week or once a month or every day. I don't know, whatever. Put stuff up, maybe topics you want to talk about. At some point in time, this will be a mat where I can hit balls when you guys ask questions. And there'll be stuff on TV, and I'll probably have a whiteboard and stuff. So it'll be different as we go. These are just our first 2. So when you first start something, it's a little bit different than it'll be. So this will only get better. We'll hit balls and stuff like that as we go. It's just like you're talking. Last thing, one more time. Shallow Your Downswing Masterclass is in the link here. It's on the YouTube videos. It's $47. Pop on there and check that out. CogornoGolf.com just got redesigned. You don't have to do a paid version at the beginning. If you want to get your feet wet and you want more stuff, do the hop on there and do the free stuff. At least go check it out. We have a Facebook group where people are throwing up their swings where I'm commenting on them. I normally charge $100 a pop for that. That kind of stuff is included. We will do more products as we go. Live view golf again. I would pop on. We'll talk about more as we go. So anything else we need to talk about?
I think good. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. We will discuss a little bit more frequency-wise and stuff like that. So we'll see you guys all again soon. Thank you.